It amazed me how a few 100 feet of tile floors and narrow halls amplified a scream. With the Fernglen Galleria empty of shoppers at this early hour, the terror-stricken wail ricocheted off the tiles, so I couldn't quite tell where it was coming from. The fear in the sound got to me, though, and I pivoted my Segway, the two-wheeled electric vehicle I used to patrol miles of mall corridors and parking areas, and zoomed past the fountain, the frozen escalator by the food court, and a wing of stores with their grills down. "Ay-yee-yee!" came the screech again. I turned down the narrow hall that led to the restrooms. Fernando Guzman, part of the mall's maintenance staff, danced wildly around his wheeled gray trash can, flailing a mop this way and that. He looked like a demented warlock performing an incantation around an outsized rubber cauldron. He caught sight of me. "EJ, por Dios, get it off me!" It was then I spotted the dragon on his head. Bearded dragon, that is. An Australian lizard. I only knew that because Kiefer, owner of the mall's reptile store, Herpetology Hut, made a point of instructing me about a different critter every time I stopped to check up on things. This bearded dragon was only about 8 inches long. Gazing at me incuriously from unblinking black eyes set into a triangular head, it seemed remarkably unperturbed by Fernando's gyrations. I got off my Segway and approached Fernando, making calming motions with my hands. "Chill, Fernando. Just hold still." He stopped doing his impression of a broken windmill in a hurricane and stood almost still, shaking slightly. "Is it poisonous?" His eyes widened until white showed all the way around his brown irises. No. At least, if it was, Kiefer hadn't mentioned it. The thought made me hesitate for a second, and I tucked my hair behind my ear in a nervous gesture I'd had since childhood. I reached one hand toward the lizard. Fernando, anxious to help, stooped down. The reptile, finding itself eye to beady eye with me, hissed and puffed out the shiny ruff under its chin. Ah, so that's why they called it a bearded dragon. Its fierceness gave me pause. Maybe I should call for backup, get someone to fetch Kiefer. But no, he probably wasn't even at the store yet. "Get it, EJ," Fernando pleaded. "It's a lizard," I admonished myself, not a camel spider. The dinner plate-sized arachnids had creeped me out in a rock. Just grab the damn thing. My hand flashed out and closed around the reptile. Its skin felt rough on my palm. Trying to be gentle, I lifted it away from Fernando's head, keeping a firm grip despite its wiggly attempts to free itself. It tangled its little claws in Fernando's thick black hair, making him wince as I pulled it free.